And so our first guest just did that. She's the author of the newly released book called When God Says Go, that I actually have a feature story in. So, Velma, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you
Yes,
very much,
welcome.
Gwen's Business Corner, for having me. Gwenetta and Deontay, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for being here, girl. So we just jump right into it because, you know, we want to make sure our viewers get some of the great niggas that you're going to provide for them. So the book is titled When God Says Go. Now, we know what it means for God to say go, but for our viewers, when they hear the word when God says go, tell them what that means to you.
Absolutely. When God says go means embrace your go moment. But in order to know when God is telling you to go, you need to have a relationship with God, or oftentimes you don't hear when he's telling you to go, and you can actually miss that go moment. So when God says go is all about tuning in to the voice of God and allowing God to navigate your path, and you actually stepping out of fear, stepping out of doubt, and stepping out of disbelief, and really jumping, really going into that path, that journey, that destiny that you in your mind think that you are unable to conquer. So just being able to hear the voice of God and go. Embrace your go moment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's actually, man, that's really powerful. Like, that hit me right here.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But, I mean, so we want to, like, we know because, of course, you know, we've been with you for quite some time. But for our viewers, like, so many people have trouble figuring out who they are and identifying themselves. So when people say, who is Velma? Like, what do you say? How do you define yourself?
Velma is a spiritual woman. A lot of people get into Christianity and religion, but I'm a spiritual woman. I believe that God created me as a masterpiece. God has created me to be something and someone that is an ambassador for Christ. I am a woman of faith. I am a success story. I am humble. I am grateful. And I am just a woman on the battlefield for Christ. So I am Velma Trayham. I am a mother. I am engaged. I am happy. I am prosperous, and I am blessed.
Okay. Wait a minute. Let me see that girl.
Yes. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're going to go back to the book. So in the book, I know your story, of course, but in the book you talk about you actually moved from Houston, which is your hometown, and you had a go moment where God told you to pick up and leave your life, and you ended up in Atlanta, leaving everything behind because God told you to go. Now, I know I have a lot of friends. I've had so many go moments, and a lot of times when we go, you know, we get discouraged. Once we go and you get there, now it's like, did I make the right decision? So what advice do you give to people who might have been in a similar situation, who had a go moment? What would your advice be for them if they're feeling discouraged?
I will say that feeling the thoughts of discouragement and fear it's okay, because those are natural feelings that we get. But being able to conquer those feelings, and we can't do it alone. So being in prayer, being in meditation daily, and fasting to get the clarity that God wants for us. So I got very discouraged a lot of times, especially when I had that accident. And I found myself like, God, you send me here, and then I have a crash that could have ultimately ended my life. But what I did was I looked at the fact that in the Bible, every time there was a success story, there was a storm before that. So I thought about things that are happening, they're happening for a reason. And I realized that I needed to go through the storm. I needed to fail forward fast before I could actually reach the destiny that God had for me.
So, Velma, speaking of the engagement, right? So congrats on that, like we just said. So I want to get into that because, you know, when you get engaged, you know, when you wed, people say you should be submissive. What are your feelings on that? Do you feel like that limits success, or what is your take on that?
I think that there is a level of submissiveness and also authority. So I am a woman that's in authority, but I'm under authority as well. And when God bring us a man, that man is the head of our household. So we should be able to be under his authority. And so I will say that I'm under authority, but I am a woman that's in authority, and I do allow the head of my house to lead. And so I know when to fall under submissiveness.
Good answer.
I guess that's a good answer. I have a problem with that sometimes.
Under authority too.
So let's get back to, okay, so with your business, Zilla, you just went through a rebranding phase where you used to service artists and entertainers, and you also did churches as well, but you just rebranded and started just doing churches. So just give our viewers a couple of tips on a rebranding process, some things that you had to do and when they're getting ready to rebrand, some things they should think about.
Awesome. One of the things that, one of the tips I will give is that in order to attract the audience that you want, become the person that you want to attract. Number 2 is align yourself with the right organizations and influencers that will help you take your brand to the next level. Oftentimes your inner circle will not be the important components to you actually taking your brand to the next level. And be very serious about your brand. Don't give up. Even in the beginning when it doesn't feel like it's going well, there's no revenue that's generating. A brand is something of long term. Marketing, you pretty much do something real quick, but when you are branding, sometimes it could take 6 months to a year before you even see revenue. But if you stop and if you give up, you'll never reach that. So just be persistent. Don't give up. Align your brand with the right type of content that will target the audience that you're trying to reach. You can't be everything to everybody. So know who your audience is, know who your niche is, know what's important to that audience so that you can tailor your brand to reach them. And also connect with people that can help you rebrand. Like I know you are really, really a great branding expert. So if it's something that you don't specialize in, then connect with people who do and hire them for their services.
Okay, that was actually great. So we're about to wrap up. So we thank you again for coming. So
Thank you
tell
for
our
having me.
viewers how to find you.
I am on social media. I'm Velma_Trayham. My website is VelmaTrayham.com. That's VelmaTrayham.com.